guy that could just like echo and reverb when I need them to. What is going on, my T3 peeps? Hope everyone is having an amazing weekend so far. I gave myself a haircut, by the way. I want to let everyone know they're doing construction. 'Tis the city, right? So they're doing construction in the building next door. So you might hear some banging and clanging, and that's all good. We'll work with what we got. So, who is here today? We got Rick Green, certified T3 bot. The first person here was TFT, moderator and certified T3 bot. We got Rick Green. We got GTT, WinCam, certified T3 bot. We got Hector. We got D and D. Happy Hanukkah. I know a bit late. It's all good, dude. 'Tis the season. Thank you for all the Hanukkah wishes. And right around the corner, Merry Christmas. Tom Rowley is here. Watch this guy, certified T3 bot, able to cycle Lars Stugard, which is almost Stuttgart, which is, you know, where Porsches are made. Dab. Caesar is here, says hello, brother. Klaus says hi, Jory. George says brap, brap. Brap, 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 brap. Young Excellency from Atlantic Canada, eh? What's going on, guys? So, it has been very, very chilly in LA, and the weird thing, and I know, cue all the comments, oh, it's not as cold as where I live, Antarctica. I live in Antarctica. Dan McCaslin, certified T3 with that drip drip. Mr. Shinobi says, my boy. But it's been so chilly here. In fact, it actually rained. It's a Christmas miracle. It rained in Los Angeles. It never rains here, guys. It never rains. And it randomly rained. And now, a New Englander in Los Angeles, when it rains, I'm like, oh, a blessing from the heavens. To finally see something from the sky that isn't fire. Because literally the only type of precipitation we get in LA is just like fire from the skies and mountains. So yeah, it's very, very nice to have some rain in Los Angeles. Jordan, certified T3 bot. Joel from Kansas, certified T3 bot. Thomas says, why can I not bring myself to buy a Grand Seiko Snowflake? 'Cause you're a silly goose? Who doesn't want a Grand Seiko Snowflake? Look, you mentioned Grand Seiko Snowflake, and look who joined in. Look who joined the party. You say Grand Seiko Snowflake, and this boy's like, what up, y'all? Coming in for his daily belly rub. Demonetized. We're not allowed to sing songs on YouTube or else we get a copyright strike. All jokes aside, the Grand Seiko Snowflake probably... I don't want to... Okay, so journalists have an issue using the same type of idioms and phrases. And okay, one big cliche in automotive journalism is referring to things like a bolt-action rifle. Have you noticed that? When they're talking about, this manual gearbox is as tight as a bolt-action rifle. A proper gearbox. It's like, okay, can we stop using that? It's kind of cliche comparing it to a bolt-action rifle. I understand. I mean, come on, Remington 700. We all know and love it. But in the watch world, people always say modern classic, modern classic. This is a modern classic. That is a modern classic. We gotta stop doing that. But what I'm going to do is just that and say the Grand Seiko Snowflake is probably a modern classic. Like in 20 years, people are going to be talking about the Grand Seiko Snowflake. So when people think of Grand Seiko, that's going to be the watch they think of. Bada bing, bada boom. That's just how it is. Let's get into some more questions, shall we? Or loom like a lighthouse. Jordan, I feel personally attacked because I use that phrase all the time. I'm like, oh, this Seiko Lumibright is like a freaking lighthouse, or I say, it glows like a fireball. I'm guilty of it too, guys. I'm guilty of it too. So, come on. Doc, Joe Robertson is here. The doctor's in the house. Thomas McSherry says, thanks and love the channel. Keep up the good content. Well, thank you so much. Donnie from Israel, how are you, brother? Dr. Joe says, the Zin you've been jonesing for show up on your wrist yet? It has not. Not yet, and I wish it has. I've been procrastinating a little bit. Because there's so many watches on my radar that keep rotating. It's like a revolver. It's like a lazy Susan. I want a little bit of this. I want a little bit of that. It's like some dim sum over the weekend. You don't know what you want, so you keep turning the lazy Susan. I want to try this and that and this and that. And that's why I can't ever make a decision about which watch I want to buy. I'm getting pickier and pickier as the days go on. Young Excellency says, boo, get that Zin. Waiting for my B-Day to start wearing the 856i I bought. Jordan, with the, Jordan Certified T3 bot, excuse me, says, do you think the lack of version 1 Boulder Expeditions being sold used is because people love them and are holding on to them, or is it because it's so budget they just don't bother? Please bother, people! I think that people just enjoy them, if I'm totally honest. I also understand that there's not a huge secondary market for micro brands, so I think a little bit of A, a little bit of B. The truth is, though, I think people could probably sell their Expeditions for more money if they wanted to manipulate the market that way, but I think people honestly just enjoy them. Let me read some comments. Musek says, Bum et Messier, Clifton Auto, buy or pass? I'm so torn. Well, the Clifton Moon Phase is an absolutely gorgeous watch that I've spoken about on this channel. So I think, okay. Link says, if you're gonna get one, get the Moon Phase, and I actually agree with him. Sheep W says, do we have any big watch events coming up, or just each company making new releases individually? Sheep, that is, the latter is exactly what's going to happen from here on out. I don't think that we're going to have any big watch shows in the near future because COVID was the final nail in the proverbial coffin for Baselworld. Baselworld was dying 2 years before COVID ever hit. And when COVID came up, boom, Baselworld had an excuse to kind of just go away and disappear forever without having to admit that they were a failure. I spoke about this last week on last week's live stream. The year, like 2 years before COVID, companies were already saying they weren't going to participate. So like Swatch Group said that they're not going to participate in Baselworld. Then Seiko said that they weren't going to participate in Baselworld, and I mean, what are you going to be left with? Rolex? Rolex could probably carry it, but you're going to have Rolex and then maybe Panerai, because I'm going to tell you right now, Vacheron, AP, those would be doing like the SIHH boutique releases. They're not going to mess around with Baselworld anyway. So with everything going on with the world has changed right now, I don't foresee any big watch things going on. I wish, you know, but hey. Musek says, used for 800, I'm gonna do it. I think not Moon Phase private sale. Thanks, Jory. Well, enjoy. Whichever you choose, enjoy. Dr. Joe, Certified T3 Boss, says, good call on that Reese Field Watch, or Risa, however you want to pronounce it. Enjoy, dude. That's a really cool watch. Able to Cycle says Rolex, or he says Omega or Rolex, and I'm going to link you to an episode because I made an episode all about that. Luis says, hi Jory, I'm a big fan from Ecuador. Well, thank you so much for tuning in, bro. I hope you enjoy all the content here, man. Thanks for stopping by. we have a link there. Why Rolex is better than Omega. Click that link, watch that episode, bada bing, bada boom. Mike Kalustian is here. I thought Mike was a T3 bot. He was in this week's members live stream. Mike, I thought you were a bot, bro. Oh, dang, we're over 100 people. Time for a wristwatch check. What are you guys wearing? Every time we hit 100 viewers, I'm going to go ahead and tell you what's on my wrist. What are you wearing, Linky? Okay, so this is my very... I don't know why. SoCal, what's going on, Miguel? SoCal Watch Reviews. All right, so this is my favorite combination. Guys, Dean's not here, but can I go on a little rant here today? Am I able to go on a little rant and talk about what I'm wearing and why I love this combination so much? So, okay, I'm going to do it anyway. Samuel, Elias, what's going on? Sam Ray, Certified T3 Bot, says, rant, rant, rant. That fellow there says, rant. Dean, Certified T3 Bot is here. He says, rant, so we're going to rant. What's up, Dean? I didn't see you in the comment section, brother. Okay, so the Tuna, the SBBN 031, okay? I think we all know I'm very partial to this watch. This is a watch that will always be in my collection. It's kind of antithetical in a way to my approach to watch collecting, because in a way, I'm much more of a mechanical collector, right? I prefer automatic watches or hand-wind watches. However, well, Guy Fieri doesn't have this watch. Guy Fieri has what's called the Gold Tuna. It's a little bit different than this one. He doesn't have an SBBN 031. But this is one watch that I honestly think is a contender to like a G-Shock. And here's why. The 7C46 quartz movement, not only is it an incredibly advanced quartz movement, it's also much, much, much more robust than any form of mechanical watch. So if you want a truly analog, tough watch, something that lays flatter than a G-Shock and looks very, very different than a G-Shock, you still want to be wearing an analog watch, but you still want it to be fairly tough and sturdy no matter where you want to take it. This is the watch to go with. It also has 100 more meters than most G-Shocks, but I digress. Okay, this Tuna, very, very famous for its bracelet. So the bracelet uses a titanium and stainless steel, kind of like tapered, like almost oyster link, not really, bracelet, and then it has this really cool diver's extension, this ratcheting extension, and I love that bracelet. It's very comfortable, and you know, in the summer when it gets hot, if my wrist swells up a little bit, I can just click that clasp. I don't need any tools, and boom, it expands. Or if I want it a little tighter, then I can close that clasp. A ton of micro adjustments. I don't need any tools. On the fly, you can change it, and I love it. But for some reason, this 22 millimeter vintage surplus Zulu strap, okay? I got it in New Hampshire, in Milford, New Hampshire. I got this in a bin of vintage surplus gear at this local Army Navy store. For some reason, on a whim, years ago, I threw this strap on this watch, and I loved it. I loved it. I didn't want to wear anything other than this. And then I took it off at the beginning of this summer, and I put it back on its bracelet, and I enjoyed it. But then I was wearing it on the bracelet the other day, and I kind of, I don't know, I wasn't feeling it anymore. So I put it back on this strap, and I realized that this is literally the only way I ever want to wear this watch. So long story short, this is the only combination, in my opinion, for this watch. I'm obsessed with it. I love it. It feels great. It looks very cool, in my opinion. And yeah, just a little rant about why I love it. Jordan, Certified T3 Bot, says, Jory, is the Simple Consultant a DS9 joke? It is not. I had a website, well, I still have a website, www.thesimpleconsultant.com, and it was linked to JF Goodman Consulting Group, which was a private consulting firm, and I still do work with it. I don't know if Jordan knows, because he's kind of a fairly newer member. He joined this year. Thank you, Jordan. I was a business consultant before I was a watch guy. I mean, I liked watches, but I did exclusively business consultant before I ever worked on YouTube. So I just thought The Simple Consultant was kind of an easy Instagram handle, and I figured, you know, I'm gonna make consulting simple. I'm gonna make it easy. I mean, look at how I talk to you guys. Very simple, very easy, very laid back. You don't need to use all these crazy metrics and terms and blah, 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 because that makes things complicated. When people hire me in my firm, we do things very simply. We make it very clear, concise, succinct, and we get the work done. That's why we crush it. Dean is wearing a glycine inconsori. I don't know about that watch. I've never heard of it, actually. I probably mispronounced it. Okay. Once in a while, I use big words, but rarely, as TFT said. May contain bleach. Certified Teeth with the super chat. Says, hello, Jory. Is there a watch you really like that is a bit unusual or quirky? Great, great, great question. Guys, thank you so much for the super chats. They're not expected, but they help out a ton. I don't think you realize we film every day, literally every day. And we can't do this without your guys' support. So super chats, obviously I'll answer your questions without super chats, but it really does help us. So may contain bleach, thank you. That's a great question, because there's a whole lot of watches that are very, very quirky, things that I wouldn't think I'd wear, but that I love. So one that comes to mind immediately is I almost feel weird admitting this. Link is like messing around with something. Guys, don't make fun of me when I say this, okay? The Cartier Pasha Golf, okay? The Cartier Pasha Golf is the weirdest watch ever. It is bizarre. It is not functional for my life, because the closest thing to golf I play is like putt-putt. I don't play golf. It would probably look ridiculous on my wrist. And yet, it is the definition of quirky. It is bizarre. It is the strangest watch ever. Look up the Cartier Pasha Golf watch. Multicolored crowns, they're pushers, okay? It looks like a Pasha, it's gold. It's just weird. Another one that comes to mind, actually, you want to talk about a Guy Fieri watch, the Rolex Yachtmaster 2. I hated it. I hated that watch. When it was first released, I hated it. I didn't even like the Yachtmasters, so I didn't know why they had to make a Yachtmaster 2 and then make it ugly. Here's what people don't understand. When you look at a Yachtmaster and when you look at a Submariner, they might look the same, right? It's not the one. It's not the one with the dimples. It's the one with the normal dial and then the multicolored pushers. So the Yachtmaster 1 and a Submariner, they both essentially look the same, right? Except what they don't tell you is that the Yachtmaster 1 only has a 100 meter water resistance rating, and the other one, the Submariner, has a 300 meter water resistance rating. Now, the Yachtmaster 1 has a bunch of different materials, like a platinum dial, platinum bezel, and all these other different things. You know, it's supposed to be the fancier alternative to a sub. Now, personally, I would rather just get a white gold Submariner, but it is what it is. But what I'm trying to say is, I don't know why they made such a benign watch like the Yachtmaster 1, and then when the Yachtmaster 1 was released, people got upset, and they're like, why are you making a watch that looks like a Submariner but is less functional than a Submariner? So then you know what Rolex did? They overcorrected and they made the Yachtmaster 2. Now they gave it this really cool regatta timer and it's just a really cool complication. And I hated it when it first came out. I think on this channel I said, why did Rolex overcorrect? But then as the years went by, I was like, I'd wear one. It's actually pretty cool. I saw one in person, I got to play around with it, and I realized that the complication is so unique, and if you ever were on a yacht and you were racing, it's like a really cool complication to have, and it's just a badass Rolex. So, yeah. So those are two really quirky watches that I like. Great question. Raphael with the super chat. Thank you so much for the super chat, Raphael. He says, hi, I love the channel. Keep up the great work. Thank you so much. He says, what are your thoughts on the 60s Cal 562 Omega Seamaster? I'm looking to buy one, but it's been said, I think that was what you mean, is that it's too fragile. Let's take a look. Because again, when we're talking about Omegas, specifically Seamasters, they've made 1 million of them. So we're going to go ahead and Google which one he's talking about. Okay. So, does it come on a bracelet? If it's on a bracelet and everything's all original, and because it's the 562, I'm assuming that it has the date complication. Here's how you know that it's not the real dial. If it's a 562 and it doesn't have the date complication, then it's a redial. All right? So be careful with that. Assuming it has the date complication and it is the original dial, and if it comes on a, beads of rice bracelet, then I would say go for it. You just got to make sure that everything's all original and it's good. I think it's a great watch. Let me see. Okay. Amel says, I just don't know if it's worth buying Oris watches that are not in-house movements because people make it sound like they're no big deal because movement is slightly modified Salida. I don't know what you're talking about because I love Oris, and the Oris that I owned, the Big Crown Pro Pilot, had a Salida movement, and I love it. So I really do not, really does not bother me. Jordan says, oh my gosh, Jordan with the super chat. Dude, he asked such a great question. It's just a mind-blowing question. He says, Jory, is there an option for people who love your content and want to support the channel and maybe get extra content and discussion? Oh my God, Jordan, I never thought you'd ask. Wow. You know what, guys? If you click the join button next to the subscribe button, there's a little menu that shows up and it asks you to join the channel. Drum roll. You can become a T3 bot. You can be a T3 bot, and you can be a T3 bot, and you can be a T3 bot, and you can be a T3 bot at home, and you can even be a T3 bot at home if you click the join button and you're willing to pay $4.99 a month. Guys, thank you so much. We try to upload, we do a weekly live chat. I don't like to call it a live stream because it's a live chat. So, whereas this, which is really, really fun, it's me talking to you, the weekly live chat is a really fun piece of content where all of us talk. So it's literally a Discord chat where all of us are talking, and it's just a whole lot of fun. So I look forward to that, and whenever there is extra content and stuff, we obviously throw that in there and we link the episodes there. So it's just, it is essentially YouTube's Patreon. I get emails pretty much weekly, people asking if I have a Patreon. I do not have a Patreon, but I do use this YouTube system, and it seems to be a very easy way to interact with my members, and I can send you guys secret messages on YouTube that only the members can see, and it's a whole lot of fun. And we have a brand new certified T3 bot. Aaron's Retro, very cool name. Do you like retro video games? We'll talk, Aaron, in the video game section of the Discord chat. Aaron's Retro certified T3 bot. Thank you so much. Guys, people that go out of their way voluntarily to hang out and support the channel and everything we do. It's amazing. And Jordan is like a newer member. He's been a member for a couple months now. He's incredibly supportive. Like, seriously, Jordan's incredibly interactive, incredibly supportive. He's very knowledgeable. He's incredibly artistic. He's just a great guy. And all jokes aside, it's very nice to have everyone's different personalities there. So it's like I know I can talk to Jordan about art or like kitschy video game stuff or even EDC things. That fellow there, who's a moderator, is very much into EDC, and so he would be like my knife guy. And then there's Sam Ray, who's kind of into textiles and EDC, but in fact he actually made me a keychain with a compass on it, which I'm very excited to get my hands on. And then there's Lee Bishop. Oh, Lee Bishop, who really likes Star Wars. And so it's very, very fun to interact with everyone and have a very diverse group of people and have everyone's interests. So Aaron Retro, what I'm getting at is we have a section like dedicated to video games. And I'm actually pretty active there because I was a retro video game collector before I ever collected watches. So yeah, thank you guys so much. Lord Elgin, Certified T3 Bot, says, remember Jory is offering the truth, nothing more. Thank you so much for the support, guys. The Pigs in the Blankets, Certified T3 Bot, is here. And yeah, it's just a really great group of people. John Free. John, Certified T3 Bot, says, don't join Jordan. It's a cult. They won't let me out of his basement. That fellow there, Certified T3 Bot and moderator, says, by joining the channel, you'll get a link within a day or so to the Discord server. Enjoy the discussion on multiple topics, watches, and more. So guys, if you do join the channel today, just have some patience. Go to the community section on my YouTube's homepage. So if you go on YouTube and you type in the Time Teller channel, when you go there, click the communities tab, and after the live stream, I post a link. And sometimes it takes a day for every member to get the link, and then you can join the Discord server, and we're free to talk about literally anything you want there. It's away from YouTube. We don't have any censorship. It's all about having fun, meeting really cool people, interacting, whether it be EDC, watches, obviously, video games. The stock market is actually an active channel on that server. It's just really, really fun. Jordan says, love that being supportive and having a sense of humor is considered being a simp. Jordan's not. Jordan is, that's called being a friend. And so the troll there that called you a simp is a jerk, and it's inaccurate. Dean he's a Certified T3 Bot that has a really interesting question as well. He says, if I'm interested in buying a good vintage watch, can you recommend a seller? Oh my God, Dean. Wow, such a very, these questions are so pertinent, and I never thought anyone would ask that. But there's this place, I found out about it, about a year ago, the Time Teller Shop.com. There's 3 watches this week. We're getting a restock next week. 2 watches sold this week. There's 3 of my favorites, actually, this week are still available. Yeah, check it out. www.thetimetellershop.com. I cannot believe that Elgin Diver is still available, but it is. So check it out. Aubrey, England. Beard maintenance recommendations. Well, I don't have any here, but in my bathroom, at my humble abode, I have something called Redken Brews. I actually carry it at the Time Teller Amazon store. So if you go to the Time Teller Amazon store, I do have the beard oil I use. It's from a company called Redken. R-E-D-K-I-N, I believe. Brews as in like a drink. B-R-E-W-S. And it smells very masculine, but not overpowering. Because here's something I will say. Matt B, you better send me some brownies, bro. That is one of my favorite treats, are brownies. Please, 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 don't even tease me about that. Okay, one thing I've learned is some beard oils are overly fragrant, and when you have an actual beard, if you put a bunch of really, really fragrant beard oil or balm, it'll give you a headache because you're going to be smelling it all day long. So Redken Brews is something that is very fragrant and masculine. It moisturizes your face, moisturizes your beard. It helps keep it in line so there's not a whole bunch of flyaways. You know, I'm Jewish, but I'm not Orthodox, so I don't want the payas. I don't want these things, you know, flying up. So, and then after I shower, I dry off my beard. I comb it out. I take Redken Brews, I'm not sponsored, and I comb it in to my beard, and then I do that almost every day. But yeah, and then, you know, I used to go to a barber every week, believe it or not, guys, and they would manicure my beard and my hair. Everything is shut down in Los Angeles, and it has been for almost a year now. So, I went crazy, and I started shaving my own head. But I have a hairline like Vegeta now, anyway, from Dragon Ball Z, so it doesn't really matter. It's kind of my way of just letting it go. Briar Blue Certified Teeth Rot. Do you have a specific beard shampoo? You know, I don't, actually. I use the shampoo on my head that I use on my beard. So it's, yeah, weird. I know that there are specific beard soaps, but I don't use that. I'm kind of a heathen, and I have like an all-in-one shower soap. So the soap I use, it's like for your body, it's for your face, it's for your hair, it's for your beard, it's for your car's motor oil. I think you can lubricate your blender with it. It's also Loctite, which is weird. And then I've also used it as a buffer between putting my CPU on my motherboard. So it's really weird. So it's just kind of an all-in-one. Aubrey says it's over 9,000. Briar Blues, I know that's a big mistake because they have specific shampoos for your beard, but I am not that sophisticated. I don't know if you know that. I am supremely average. Not when it comes to these though, baby. Ugh. Briar Blues, see, Briar Blues is the quintessential gentleman, so he would know about all these bespoke products. Briar, you have my information. Talk to me about that. We need a beard treatment video at this rate. Oh at least Jory gave us race car beds. Do you remember those, dude? Those race car beds? Oh my gosh, blast from the past. Oh my god, dude. The race car beds. Dude. I would do a cat live stream right now, but they're asleep. Keep pumping one day, bro. Lee Bishop is here. Lee freaking Bishop. Who doesn't sleep in a race car bed? I get top bunk this time, Rick. We have all this extra space for activities. Oh my gosh. The Opulent Life says, hi Jory, what's your opinion on titanium watches? If yes, which one should a collector aim for? So, I made an episode of one of my we've derailed this this live stream because if you guys don't know, the live stream, we just talk about whatever we want to talk about. It's not just watches. But we're going to talk about watches real quick. Titanium. I made an episode, literally the first episode ever on this channel. You might see some familiar faces from the YouTube watch world because we all collaborated on this. But the first episode for 2020, I should say. And it's, are titanium watches worth it? So I kind of go over it there. But yeah, that episode I did a lot of work on, so I'd rather you watch that episode to get my answer versus me reiterate the entire episode. But long story short, I think titanium watches are very cool. It does get some getting used to, though, if I'm totally honest. Because for someone like me who's used to wearing stainless steel watches, titanium's very light, like freakishly light. And it can almost feel like a toy sometimes. So you need to have your head wrapped around that. PS Dance, PS Dance, Paul, who is someone who I have literally known since the beginning of me being on social media about watches. So since the beginning of the Simple Consultant Instagram, I've known PS Dance. So round of applause to him, because he's the freaking man. And he has really good taste in watches and in cars, actually. So he asks, Aerospace or Pelagos? It's going to be a very controversial topic. Because I've rallied against Pelagos, or Tudor, for so long. However, I'm going to pick the Pelagos because I've said many a time that if Tudor just gave the Pelagos a little more love, they'd probably be a more respectable company and people would probably take them a bit more seriously, excuse me. My English, my grammar. Yeah, Tudor Pelagos, big fan. I really dig it in blue. I think it has an incredible functionality as far as, water resistance rating and build quality. The clasp itself is really, really cool. It's just an all-around ridiculous watch. The finishing, it's very, very cool, incredibly solid, and it doesn't really compete with Rolex in any way. So you can't really say, oh, this is a poor man's Rolex. Has like what, a 600 meter water resistance rating? It's titanium. Rolex doesn't do anything like that. So Tudor Pelagos, really badass. I would get the blue version. It's an amazing watch. 500 meters. Okay, very, very cool. PS says, good thing I have an Aerospace and the blue Pelagos is the one on my next purchase list. You have good taste, man. That's the one. I've worn one. One of my buddies has one, and I've worn it a few times. The finish and just the uniqueness of how it looks. It's not a Submariner homage. It's just a really cool, nice feeling tool watch. It's still very much a tool watch. I have a question from The Opulent Life. He says, do you like luxury pens? Well, I don't know if you know this, but I am the head moderator of penisland.com. Penisland.com, you can go ahead and type it in on Google. Penisland. Penisland. I'm kidding, guys. I don't really know much about pens. But my dad always had a Mont Blanc Meisterstück, okay? My dad's a physician, and he writes a lot. And he's always had a Mont Blanc Meisterstück in his pocket, okay? Always. And a very fancy schmancy fountain pens. And ever since I was little, I've tried to write with his fountain pens, and I don't know how to do it because I'm left-handed and I smudge. I smear it. But as kind of an homage to my dad, my dad got me into watch collecting. My dad got me into a lot of things, cars, right? All these things that I've been interested in, I've learned from my dad. And so looking up to him, he's always had a Mont Blanc Meisterstück in his pocket so that he can, write down prescriptions and everything. That when I first got one of my first clients, one of my first consulting clients, and I made some money for myself to celebrate, I bought myself this Mont Blanc Meisterstück rollerball. So it's not anything special as far as like pen aficionados go. So people that know a whole lot about pens, they think, I've heard people say this is the quartz equivalent to like a pen, right? Because people like fountain pens and stuff. And I don't know much about it. I don't know much about that life. I know about Mont Blanc like as a manufacturer, but I don't know. It just reminds me of my dad. My dad always had one. And so when I got my first client and I started making a little bit of money for myself, this was my first purchase. And I bought myself a Mont Blanc Meisterstück just as to be like, oh, I'm working. So who knows? That's just a little story. The Pigs in the Blankets Certified Teeth Bot says, I use a pencil. That's all good. Diesel says, yo, Jory. Laura Elgin says, nothing about a fountain pen is quartz. No, this isn't a fountain pen. So I was saying that people say that this is like the quartz equivalent to the pen world because this is not a fountain pen. So it's essentially snobs telling me that I'm a casual in the pen world, which I am. Absolutely. Michael Best says, fountain pens take some time to learn. Yeah, I know that. Jordan says, and I am not a pen casual. Okay. So Jordan, Certified Teacher Bot, says, rollerballs are rad for their own reasons, and I am not pen casual, he says. So he knows his stuff, and he says that rollerballs are good for their own reasons. And that's kind of how I feel about quartz movements, because quartz movements are very, very cool for their own reasons. We just need to recognize the differences between all the different movements and watches. Aaron's Retro, Certified Teacher Bot, says, anything new over at the Time Teller shop? Well, Aaron, as you know, we did a Hanukkah restock, and we sold, what was it? Actually, I think we sold 3 watches this week, and there's 3 watches still available. So next week, we will be doing another restock. But we have a vintage Elgin Swiss-made tropical diver. Very, very cool, with a 4 o'clock offset crown. We have a Bulova Ambassador, 10 karat yellow rolled gold, with a micro, it's only 8 millimeters thin and it has a micro rotor. And we have the second example of an Wittenauer square tank, it's a 7 jewel, I forgot the reference number, but I've had 2 of them at the store, and I've sold 2 of them. Does the coupon still work? Let me check. You know, I'm in charge of the store. AMG! Yo, I love AMGs. He says, big fan of the channel, sending you love from Australia. Thank you, man. Love Down Under. Down Under. That's an okay accent, right? Down Under. Let me see. Well, Aaron's Retro. For anybody interested in those last 3 Hanukkah watches, use that coupon code. 8 days, it's going to be good for this weekend, and then it's done. Come Monday, it's over. 8 days will get you a little bit of a discount on those watches. So check it out. Again, there was a restock this week for Hanukkah, and then we almost sold out. So 3 watches still available. Check it out, and then next week there will be a restock, but the coupon will not work. Whew, did you hear that? John, Certified Teeth Rot, says, anyone follow Bring a Trailer? I'm addicted. So, John, I don't know if you know, but I recently purchased a 911, okay? And I purchased it in September. You bet. I was tracking Bring a Trailer. I was tracking the price history of sale prices. Bring a Trailer is a rabbit hole. You're always going to be... I didn't buy it. I didn't buy it from Bring a Trailer. However, I was tracking the price history, and I was seeing if one came up in the spec I wanted. Now, it just so happened I found one private in Washington State, and it was not on Bring a Trailer. It was incredibly undervalued, and I scooped it up. So the hilarious part is that if they posted that one on Bring a Trailer, the price would have been much, much more. So, yeah. Adrian says, the time teller, how's the goal of the Zin 3006? Ain't it a bit thick? It rivals my G-Shock. I know, 15.5 millimeters for a freaking chronograph. It is a thick boy. Like I've said on air, it is a hockey puck on the wrist. But I love it. But I absolutely love it. I will get one. I don't know if I'm going to get one right now because there's a few more modifications I want to do to my Porsche. Why does everything have to cost money, guys? Why are all my hobbies so expensive? There's like 3 more modifications I want to do to my Porsche, and then I'm probably going to buy myself a watch. I don't know. Sam Ray, certified teacher bot, says, smash that like button. Targa Florio, which is, man, really cool name. He must be a car guy. He says, yo, Jory, great channel. Thank you so much. ST19, 1963 Venus, 40 millimeters. Sapphire, what do you think? Sugi's ST19. Do it. Great movement. I have a lot of experience with that movement in my Seagull 1963. Do it. The case back on the new Omega Snoopy is very interesting. Very, very interesting. Jay Sender says, which modifications? So, for those of you who don't know, I've done a ton of modifications to the 911 already. 24 millimeter and 22 millimeter sway bars, Coney yellow, performance adjustable shocks front and rear, the H&R Sport Springs, brand new clutch, a dual mass flywheel, a brand new RMS, and the LN Engineering IMS bearing retrofit. And I also have the Fab Speed Super Cup exhaust. So now I want to do the PCCM Plus, which is Porsche has designed a retrofitment for Apple CarPlay. So it's made by Porsche. It looks like it came from the factory because it did, but it essentially retrofits your dash so that you can do Apple CarPlay, navigation, everything. So they just came out with it like a few months ago. So I'm going to do that. And then I am going to get the numeric performance short throw linkage with metal cables for my shifter. And then probably a new intake plenum so I can get more air into that bad boy. Jory's favorite car is the El Camino. I almost choked on my own spit. No, it is not an El Camino. Diesel says, have you ever heard of the Peugeot Blue Angels chronograph? Yes, I have. But my favorite Blue Angels watch is actually a Citizen. Oh my God, Jory never talks about Citizen. Yeah, my dad has had 2 or 3 Citizen EcoDrive radio-controlled Blue Angels watches. I think those are the ones to get. Really, really, really cool. No coffee today, by the way. The Space Snowman, car equals manual or automatic. All my vehicles are manual. Actually, all my vehicles are 6 speeds. Crazy. I didn't realize that until right now. I'm just kidding, I realized that. Multi D Hill says, hi Jory, fire truck come in your neighborhood? I didn't hear any. Is there one here now? I don't know what the mic picks up, but I don't hear a fire truck. So no. He's getting a new shag carpet installed. Yeah, they are doing construction over there. So if you're hearing something, they are like clanging and banging, drilling and stuff over there. They've taken a unit in a building over there down to like concrete foundation. So you're going to be hearing stuff. Life of Sam, did you end up buying fried chicken after that one live stream? I think I did. We went to Barbecue Chicken, which is a Korean fried chicken place in downtown LA. The car teller. Oh, we're here for 50 minutes and my phone is already saying that it's going to die. Do I play video games? So I don't have much time right now. Or these days, I should say. But yes, I do play video games. I've been playing Warzone. I have a group of friends that the way that we all interact is we play Warzone with each other, which is really, really fun. And I have a very large vintage retro video game collection. I was interested in that before I got into watches. My favorite video games of all time, Chrono Trigger on Super Nintendo, Magic Knights Ray Earth on Sega Saturn, and Final Fantasy VII, obviously. What's my opinion about smartwatches, David? I'm not into them. I've made 2 or 3 episodes about why I don't like smartwatches. They're too expensive and they become obsolete too quickly. Thomas McSherry says 6 to 8K watch thoughts. And Zeldas. I obviously love all the Zeldas. You know what? I'm going to be honest. Breath of the Wild is one of the best games that have come out in the last 5 years. Breath of the Wild is an incredible game. Incredible game. Simply Cooking says, my husband is an addict of your channel. Well, how do I get him off of it? Well, I apologize. Because chances are your husband has spent more money than he's had to since watching my channel, because watch collecting is a terrible hobby. And it's not my fault, okay? Simply Cooking, because I've told everyone, do not start watch collecting. I'm going to tell you things about watches. I'm going to tell you which watches are better buys. I'm going to try to save you money here and there. But just don't get into watch collecting. It's a terrible hobby. You will be addicted. And I've warned everyone that. But Simply Cooking, thank you for the support. And what's going on to your husband, to your family? Thank you for supporting the channel. Robert Ivan says, great channel. Where can I send you some details and photos about my collection? I want to hear your opinion. You can go ahead and you can email me info@thetimetellershop.com, info@thetimetellershop.com, or you can find me on Instagram @thesimpleconsultant.com. Hector says, my girlfriend said we look weirdly similar. Hector, get your girlfriend on the phone. I don't think so. Would you ever buy a bearded dragon to match your vibe? I had one years ago, but I did have a bearded dragon. It was really cool, really, really fun. Its name was Chimmy, Chimmi. Very, really fun animal. Mike, have a good one, dude. Lee Bishop says, Jory, Penny is watch Friday Night Dinner Christmas episode. Funny as hell. Well, tell Penny what is going on and send my love to her as well. And I always get jealous when she cooks for you because the food always looks very, very good. In that, in the food section of our Discord chat, man, people post some very good-looking food. Do you still like Seiko watches? Would I buy any more? So yes, I would buy more Seiko watches, assuming they get their act together. Sending a big hug to Penny as well. Assuming they get their act together, yes, I would. But it's not that I think like I'm wearing a Seiko right now. Seiko makes incredible products. I just think that they have fiddled with their chemistry a little bit incorrectly, right? So they still, don't get me wrong, every watch they sell now that is over $1,000, if it said Swiss made on the dial, it will be it would be more expensive than it is. So there's still value there. The thing is that I don't like how they took like the Alpinist, they changed it a little bit. They gave it a longer power reserve and a date magnifier, and they put a Prospex logo on it, and then they charge twice the price for it. It doesn't make sense to me. So yeah, I'm not into it. Aaron's Retro, have a good one, bro. Thank you for joining the channel. Certified T3 bot. Multi-Hill says, Jory, do a video with Teddy Baltazar. We've done 3 episodes together. Teddy and I have been in 3 episodes together, guys. So, yeah, I love Teddy. What's my all-time favorite watch? Rafi Rakin. Seiko Alpinist, maybe? It's a great watch. Swiss or German? I don't really care where the watch is made, as long as it's a good watch. I don't know, my favorite watch of all time, see, now when I'm thinking my favorite watch of all time, it's like the Jaeger-LeCoultre Reverso. I don't know, I love the Reverso. Oh, and someone says your Reverso is listening to that. Yeah, I love Reversos. I love my Reverso. Jory, do your cats eat fish? In their food. I don't give them people food. Sometimes they steal nibbles from me, but I don't really feed them people food. I give them, you know, good, healthy food that's designed for their bodies. Cameron, cars or watches? Both. Both is good. What's your thoughts on the Hamilton Ventura? Men in Black, baby. I know Elvis wore it too, but Men in Black. Very cool. John, Certified T3 bot. Seiko moved upscale, but now offers less value in their lower end than they did before. I actually made an episode explaining that exact phenomenon. You're spot on. Let me find it. Let me look. Hold on, dudes. Can you hear them? Oh, hi, Linky. Linky wants to sing along. Okay, so that's why Seiko is not my favorite company anymore in that episode. And then I have another episode explaining why Orient is the new Seiko. So if you're interested, guys, watch that. Thomas McSherry, KFC or McDonald's? McDonald's, dude. See, people talk trash about McDonald's because it's unhealthy, right? And they're like, oh, that's not good food. The truth is, some of McDonald's, like, slaps, dude. I'm not kidding, man. Like, double quarter pounder with cheese, I don't care who you are. That slaps. So, it's... I mean, I dig KFC. I like KFC. But I'm just like a burgers and fries, dude. So... And, like, seriously. You can't be a beast, dude, without taking down some double quarter pounders. The issue is that when I order McDonald's, it's not just like one meal. Like, I don't understand how people... Oh, hi, Linky. Hi, Linky. Hi, Linky. Okay, so the funny thing is I don't understand how people go and order one meal. Like, the issue with me going to McDonald's is that I need, like, 3 meals. And then I'm like, alright, I'll be set. Look at this big-ass cat, dude. Foo smacks. Not slaps. Well, I'll say what I want because I don't care what you guys say on Instagram. Incorrect terminology. Okay, cool. Well, Josiah, you actually didn't pronounce this one thing properly, so... Isn't that so funny when people, they watch an entire episode of mine and they say, oh, this one thing you said you didn't say with an accent of which you are not from. Diesel says Culver's beats all. I don't think I've ever had Culver's. Penny loves Link. Well, Link loves Penny, Lee. Oh, he's gonna try. Oh, he was gonna try to jump on the camera. John Mayer G-Shock. Okay, so here's what I think about the John Mayer G-Shock. It looks good, and the media video that John Mayer did was funny and entertaining and charming because John Mayer is funny. And he's charming and entertaining and talented, but it's not, like, there's nothing that screams super unique John Mayer. It's very clear that they were just using John Mayer's name as a marketing tool. It's not, like, it doesn't scream like anything different than like a Neo Tokyo, right? It looks good, but it's not... I don't know. It was just clear marketing by Hodinkee and yeah, I don't know. So it looks nice, but it's not super interesting to me, is what I'd say. Diesel 419 certified T3 bot. Thank you for joining the channel, bro. Thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you in the Discord chat and in the Discord hangout. Recommendations for women's watches, Simply Cooking. I'm making an episode on that. Stay tuned. But there is a woman's Seiko Presage. I would check that out. It's actually gorgeous. So Presage, I've seen men wear it too because it's in the 30s, 30 millimeters. I mean, it's larger than 30 millimeters, but what I mean is that it's sub 40 millimeters. So I think that would be a cool place to start looking. But yeah. Milk Garrison, Certified T3 says, Brother Joy, blessings to you. Happy to finally catch up with you and the bots. Milk Garrison, Certified T3 bot. He's a great supporter of mine. He's been a supporter for a great long while. Thank you so much, man, for hanging out. Lord Elgin says, burr, burr, burr. We have a question from Multi-Hill. Says, Jory, where is the link to be a Certified T3 bot? You have to click the join button next to the subscribe button. Someone asked if I like Ireland. Ireland seems cool. I'd like to go and have a proper Irish breakfast. But I've never been. But you know, the first place I go is going to be Wales. So I can go bother Lee. Have him show me around. Shifter and air intake, I understand, but who needs Apple Play in a Porsche? Well, because it works with your phone, so I can make phone calls. I don't know if you know this, but I live off of my phone, Jay Sender. So, if I need to make a call, it's much easier because there's no, like, Bluetooth or anything. So that's why I want the Apple CarPlay. Fish and chips, Lee. That's what we're gonna get, bro. But guys, my phone is telling me that it's about to die, so I want to do my outro before my my camera dies and everything. Okay, so here's what I want to tell you guys. The holidays have been challenging for many of us because of everything going on, especially if you live in a city, like California. But we have each other, okay, at the end of the day. And just because we might have to distance ourselves doesn't mean we have to isolate ourselves. And that's something that I'm working on as well. You know, I live in Los Angeles. We can't be around anybody, but we don't have to isolate ourselves here. We still have each other. So I always tell people to get out of your comfort zone. And I tell people to tell someone, a city like California, I meant a city like Los Angeles. I tell people to get out of California and to get out of California. I do tell people to get out of California. I tell people to get out of their comfort zone. That was a little bit of a Freudian slip there. And I tell people to tell someone you love them, okay? And I'm going to start that off. I'm going to tell you guys that I love you, each and every one of you. Thanks for hanging out with me. But there's a last part that I added last week that seems very, very relevant today, okay? The last part is to tell yourself that you love them, that you love yourself, okay? Sounds cheesy, sounds kind of woo-woo, and you really do need to think about this, all right, guys? Because I think too often, especially now, we're focusing on all these outside things that we can't control, and people are scared and uncertain, and things are inconsistent. So yes, get out of your comfort zone, tell someone you love them, but include yourself in that. Tell yourself you love yourself. You deserve it, guys. Now more than ever. If you don't realize that you have a lot to be proud of and thankful for and happy about, and if you don't give yourself some credit, then you're not going to make it, okay? And I don't mean like physically you're not going to make it. I mean like mentally. You're just going to be drained, guys. So I love each and every one of you. And remember that you got to tell yourself that you love yourself once in a while, all right? And that's all I want to say, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. The Pigs in the Blankets has a super chat, says thanks for all the great Saturdays. Happy holidays, all. And, you know, guys, we truly do have a lot to be thankful for. And I'm not just saying that. We truly, truly do have a lot to be thankful for. We woke up today. We have the ability to go on a piece of technology. We have the ability to hang out and talk to each other. So things aren't that bad, all right? Regardless of what the world wants to tell you, things aren't that bad. I promise. You can take that to the bank. And Link agrees. All right, guys, stay happy, stay healthy, stay blessed. I'm Jory Goodman, the time teller, and always remember, I didn't invent time. I just tell it. And a big old dab at the end there. I will see you on Monday, people. Have a great one.